Hello, friends, a very happy Independence Day to all of you. Today is the 15th of August, and we are celebrating the 76th Independence Day of India. Today, I'll be telling you how India actually got its independence. Ever since independence, the official narrative of India's Second War of Independence has been that India got its freedom on the strength of Gandhian nonviolence and Satyagraha, as epitomized by a famous Bollywood song. As if India never did, never needed to, never should, and never will fight for gaining or safeguarding its freedom. This narrative has no place or role for the Indian National Army INA, for Subhas Chandra Bose, or for thousands of patriotic Indians such as Rash Bihari Bose, Bal Gangadhar Tilak, Veer Savarkar, and Bhagat Singh, to name just a few. So let's dive deeper and get to know what actually brought about our independence. The Axis forces lost the Second World War after the horrible atomic bombs devastated Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Axis forces surrendered to the Allied forces on 15th August 1945, bringing about an abrupt end to one of the fiercest battles ever fought, costing the world some 75 to 85 million lives. But Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose, the supreme commander of Azad Hind Fauj, or the INA, although aligned with them, refused to give up his fight for driving the British Raj from India. The surrender of INA forces was followed by large-scale incarceration of the soldiers and officers of the INA in Southeast Asia and in India. The British had succeeded in maintaining complete secrecy about the very existence of the INA throughout the war, but the stories of bravery, suffering, and sacrifices by the INA soldiers and Subhas Chandra Bose's outstanding contribution during the War of Independence came to light from stories told by returning INA soldiers. India learned that almost 30,000 INA soldiers had made the ultimate sacrifice for India's independence, that Indian patriots had paid for freedom with their bloods, dearly and gladly. People of India spontaneously recognized Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose as India's greatest hero, his Azad Hind Fauj as its first ever national army, and Azad Hind Hukumat as the first legitimate government of independent India, with Subhas Chandra Bose as its supreme leader. Friends, while telling you this, I myself am getting goosebumps and feeling proud to be an Indian. In the meanwhile, the British had announced the trial of three senior-most INA commanders, Shah Nawaz, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon, and Prem Sehgal, on charges of war crimes and betrayal of the oath of allegiance to the British Crown. This was seen by the people as a determined last attempt by the British to perpetuate their hold on India by subjugating the Indian spirit and desire for freedom once and for all. However, India rose up in armed protest and public outrage. The trials had to be withdrawn, and the British authorities got into panic-driven. In the meanwhile, the British had announced the trial of three senior-most INA commanders, Shah Nawaz, Gurbaksh Singh Dhillon, and Prem Sehgal, on charges of war crimes and betrayal of the oath of allegiance to the British Crown. This was seen by the people as a determined last attempt by the British to perpetuate their hold on India by subjugating the Indian spirit and desire for freedom once and for all. However, India rose up in armed protest and public outrage. The trials had to be withdrawn, and the British authorities got into panic-driven confabulations, leading to their decision to flee for their life. In order to assuage public outrage, the British, however, notified elections to the central and provincial councils in January of 1946. Jawaharlal Nehru and the Congress leadership were, however, completely unaware of the British government's decision to flee India at the slightest sign of rebellion. In fact, Nehru and the Congress leadership had already given up the fight. His candid admission in 1960 to British historian Leonard Mosley that "we were tired men and getting on in years 2, and few of us could stand the prospect of going to prison again, is testimony to the fact. When Jawaharlal Nehru and others were released in June 1945, they expected to see a demoralized and leaderless public cowed down by the British repression post-August 1942, but was surprised to find huge crowds of supporters gathering to listen to them. They mistook public anger, demanding the release of all the INA soldiers as a sign of enthusiasm for the elections. Resultantly, the Congress won the elections with a massive public mandate. Thus, the British decision to flee India and the Congress decision to agree to Dominion status within the Commonwealth are in fact overlapping decisions made by two antagonists. And today, finally, this controversy surrounding India's freedom struggle finally stands resolved in that the British left India in a hurry in order to save their lives, all because of the influence of Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose and the Indian National Army, not because of Congress agitations. Well friends, I really hope that you liked this video and the little bit of information that I conveyed. Do share this video with as many people as you can so that they are aware of what really made our India independent, of the untold stories of real heroes, silent fighters, martyrs, and people who placed their nation before everything else, even their lives. Finally, let's not have any enmity between us on this auspicious day. Do like and subscribe the video. I worked really hard for it. And comment the names of other real freedom fighters whose stories you want to hear. Wishing you a very happy Independence Day again. Thank you.